Simone Biles has been in the news quite often as of late, thanks to both her athletic prowess and her controversial decisions at the past Olympic Games. And while she has given her entire life to her craft, she still cannot avoid the unnecessary and downright unearned criticism that is becoming her way for much longer than you might have thought. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down Simone's tough road and where this whole thing started. Sit back and relax because you will not want to miss out on a single second of this video. First up, what has Simone done that has caused so much drama in her career? For those of you who don't know, Simone Biles is one of, if not the best, Olympic gymnast in the history of American gymnastics. And yet, she somehow cannot find a way to stay out of the public eye or public criticism. But has she earned any of it? Simone Biles was front-page news during the 2021 Summer Olympics in Japan when she decided to opt out of some of her events. Lots of American fans immediately called her a quitter and a poor sport for choosing to sit out some of her events, when in actuality, she was choosing to prioritize herself and her mental health over the expectations of the fans and what they expect her to do. Simone Biles decided to withdraw from 2 events at the 2021 Olympics, including the uneven bars and the vault event, which caused an uproar amongst fans, questioning if she was strong enough to be a pro athlete or if she had even considered how lucky she was to be representing the United States at the highest stage. But for some reason, those same people who sat on their couch at home and couldn't even sniff the idea of being an athlete that must perform at the highest level with a mountain of expectations on their shoulders couldn't even stop to think for a second how hard it must be to compete with the stakes being what they were. Not only that, but they continued to slander her and immediately turned their back on the person they were supposed to be cheering for, all because she refused to put herself through the ringer when she knew that she was not ready to compete at her best. It was a truly embarrassing display of sportsmanship from a great deal of American fans, and if anyone watching this video had the goal to publicly shame Simone Biles for her decision, you should feel ashamed of yourself. But the most embarrassing thing is that this is not the first time this has happened. In fact, this type of mental warfare from her own country's fans has been happening pretty much the second she touched the mat as a pro, and unfortunately, we just couldn't see it. So if this wasn't the first time, when did it start? As most of you know, Simone Biles had her Olympic debut back at the Rio Olympics in 2016, and it was the talk of the entire Olympics. Everyone was excited to see what the young phenom could do when given the opportunity to perform at the highest level. And while she was expected to do well, she was not expected to be one of the best athletes at the entire games, regardless of sport. But that was exactly what she did. She made some of the best athletes in the sport look like they were jumping around for a frolic in the foam pit compared to her. And it was an amazing display of sportsmanship and athletic ability. Simone battled hard and took home 5 medals in total, 4 gold medals and a bronze medal. Now, while this should have been an amazing achievement, and it was, some fans couldn't help but make her achievement less than what it actually was. While people were astounded that she earned 4 gold medals, people were less than impressed that she only managed to get a bronze medal, so much so that they even stopped mentioning that she won it. Sports announcers would refer to her as a 4-time gold medalist and would purposefully fail to mention the fact that she is a 5-time medal winner and 4 of them happen to be gold and 1 of them happens to be bronze. Does that make her achievement any less of a big deal? No. In fact, it actually makes the achievement even better, as she literally added another medal to her resume. And the medal color should not make a difference to anyone who is counting medals, especially when 99% of the world has 0 Olympic medals to their name. Simone was less than impressed that people were forgetting her bronze medal, which caused her to speak up and say, "I came out of the 2016 Olympics with 5 medals, and nobody recognizes that medal. So every time I go somewhere, 4-time gold medalist, imitating, but I have 5 medals. Like my bronze feels so neglected." Sure, a bronze medal is not the same as a gold medal, and 5-time gold medalist would sound better than 5-time Olympic medalist, but it doesn't change the fact that she has won 5 medals, and it deserves to be mentioned. In fact, in 2022, she racked up even more medals, and somehow she is regarded in an even worse light than in 2016. Imagine only continuing to win, and yet your country's fans respect you even less than they did when you had fewer medals. In 2016, following the Rio Olympics, Biles had earned 5 total medals. Now here we are in 2022, and Simone Biles has 7 total medals to her name, as she earned an additional silver medal and bronze medal. And yet, American fans are less than impressed at the fact that she failed to earn another gold medal, and she willingly sat out some of her events, which obviously robbed her of the opportunity to earn more medals. I know that the gold medal is the best of the best achievement, and that a gold medal is what every athlete wants when they compete in their sport. However, being on the podium at all is one of the most amazing and rarest achievements that a person can obtain. So the fact that she got onto the podium at all, twice, is insane. If you don't believe me, let's take a look at the math. According to the world population numbers, there is roughly a 1 in 562,400 chance of somebody even becoming an Olympic athlete, let alone winning a medal. But to get to the top of the podium is even more difficult, as only 3% of the athletes that get to the Olympics even win a medal. So for Simone to get on the podium twice in the same Olympics is so astronomically amazing that people should be statistically astounded at the fact that they have an athlete that is demonstrating the highest amount of skill we may have ever seen in this sport, and she is only 25 years old. If she's lucky and can remain healthy, she could be competing until she's 40 years old, which means that we could see her in 3 more Olympic Games, which would be an absolute treat for anyone who is a fan of sport. People sometimes forget just how much work goes into becoming the best of the best. Some people had the nerve and the straight-up stupidity to insult, berate, and insult Simone Biles for her decision to sit out of some of her events in the 2021 Olympics, and those same people called her a quitter and a lazy athlete. But I think those people are, to put it nicely, incredibly stupid, like the dumbest of the dumb. And if you were one of those people who insulted Simone, I'm not sorry, you are dumb. Anyway, Simone has been competing in this sport since she was 6 years old, and it was clever that she was a special athlete that was naturally gifted. Simone was encouraged to continue in the sport, and she was quick to agree. Simone wired incredibly hard until age 14, in which she started to compete on the world stage at her first junior competition. But despite her natural talent and her hard work, she finished 20th overall. That was her first indication to work even harder, and at her next world event, she finished no lower than second in all of her events, and finished first in a great deal of her events, which got her named to the U.S. national team. She saw where she needed to be, and she worked her ass off to get there. But even after she was named on the national team and was recognized as one of the best in the country, she still decided to keep at it and stay hungry, which is what eventually saw her become the best gymnast in the world and possibly the GOAT of gymnastics. What makes this even more amazing is that she was in and out of foster homes for her entire childhood, and yet she still found a way to rise above her difficult childhood and took all the pressure of becoming something great onto her shoulders even when she was a child. And now that she has worked harder than the majority of the world to become the best of the best in her field, she still cannot somehow get the recognition, thanks, and support of the country she competes for and the country she loves. She is one of the best athletes the nation has, and she still cannot escape the hate and criticism. That's all we have for you guys today. We will see you all in the next one.